Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa, and in this video we're going to talk through how I've completed this dragon in my sketchbook. If you like this video, I also have some other fantasy videos on my YouTube, so make sure to go check those ones out. In the description below I'll put a list of the paper pencils that I used to complete this one. Remember to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So after I put the outline down for this one, I then went over with some washi tape on the outside just to make sure that when I take up the tape I have a nice clean border. Even though it is a sketchbook, you sort of do want it to look a little bit crisp and clean. I always start with the eye with this sort of thing, and then I always start with the lighter colours, especially when working up with watercolour pencils. So for the base colours on this one in the eye, I use the Naples Yellow, I use the warm grey one, light ultramarine, and where it's sort of a bluey sea sort of green colour, I use the Cobalt Green. For the main green colours, especially the top of the lip, I use the earth green Yellowish, and then go down, put a couple of the layers in that you can see from the reference photo, and then blend it together with the water, and then move on to another section, do the base layers with the same sort of colours, and then wet it down with the water. The way I sort of work is just doing sections at a time, so you just sort of pick little bits, do a couple of layers of the pencil, and then go through, wet it down with the water. So depending on the size of the area that I'm using is the size of the brush that I'll use. I always sort of make sure that I have some paper towel or tissues or something so I can wipe off some of the water. So when it comes to watercolor pencils, the more water that you put on the page, the more washed out the color is going to be. So if you want the color to be really dark and punchy, just use small amounts of water and blend it regularly. When it came to the little sort of dints on the face where it's a lighter color, what I did was go in with the darker colors around that section, and then used my brush on the tip of the white pencil, the watercolor pencil, wet it down, and then use the brush to just dab little bits of white on the page. So if you try and just draw over the darker colors with the white pencil, nothing will really happen. But once you wet the brush and then rub it on the end of the pencil, it can create such really nice highlights. And you can also just go over those highlights with your green and blue colors to dull them down a little bit so they're not so bright. So usually when I do this sort of thing, I always do a sort of complementary color. So on the flip side of this, I was thinking about using like a purple or an orange color just to darken up some of the other areas, but then I thought no, I just want to stick to the blue, yellows and green colors for this one, which I'm pretty sure it sort of looks good at the end, but let me know what you think about the small color palette that I used for this one, because I didn't really extend out much more than the blues and greens and the yellows and the black colors, of course. And then when it comes to realism and trying to make it look sort of 3D and realistic, the main thing that you need to do is just really darken those shadows and lighten the highlight sections. So in the darker sections I went in with like the Prussian Blue, dark indigo, the black, and then in the darker green sections I used some of the olive green Yellowish, Chromium green Opaque, and mixed all of those together with the black colors as well. And then like I said before, using the white pencil, the paintbrush on the end of the white pencil will give you such a light highlight over the darker sections and make it look more 3D. And then when it came to the background, I decided to do sort of like a smoky, sort of cloudy background. I didn't want to go any darker than the actual dragon because I wanted the dragon to be the darkest bit of the piece, but I didn't want it to be on the stark white background either. So I used all of the same green and blue colors and the warm grey one in the background to make it look sort of smoky and cloudy in a sense. So this is the final result. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this one. Would you like to see more dragons in the future? Because I would love to do some dragons of other colors, or maybe even more variety of colors. Remember to like and subscribe, and this is the final result. Keep drawing, guys. Thanks. Bye.